Alright, man, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Key coming at y'all boys with a brand new video. And today, we're gonna go ahead and get into another one, man. Make sure y'all boys like, comment, and subscribe. Get in that comment box. Tell me how you felt about this video. And with that being said, man, let's check it out.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
Yeah.
This is way back.
Nigga, stop playing with us, man.
He said that shit like that.
This shit for real, man. Don't do it.
He hit his leg on the little thing.
All of my niggas together, we came from the bottom, we used to wear each other. None of my niggas gon' fold. Couple put on the day, big bro coming home, free Nate. He indicted.
Look at this video. Police say this man is a person of interest in the case. On September 27th, 2 people with bullet wounds showed up at Grady. While officers have not revealed many details about the investigation, they say the 2 people were hit in a shootout near Baker Street Northwest and William Street Northwest.
People play gangsta and police games at the same time. That shit is weird. That shit is weird.
Bro. That attorney right here, she worked in the YSL trial also, if I'm not mistaken. But she works at like damn, I can't speak. She works at a renowned law firm in Atlanta, bro.
Get an attorney kicked off a murder case. They say she warned a murder suspect who she was not representing to hide evidence.
Finling disputes that.
She actually did have an attorney-client privilege relationship.
He didn't say how. Fagan is representing Davis's co-defendant, Quincy Pinky. Pinky, Davis, and 2 others are charged in the murder of Jaquavius Wilson last year. Prosecutors want her off the case.
Tonight, if you get in trouble with the law, serious stuff like violence, it'd be a good idea to obey traffic rules.
You just kept rolling on through and made the right turn.
I was on the phone running my mouth.
All right. So you got a driving license?
No, sir.
I'm getting your first license.
You gotta say William Davis.
You got a picture of it?
I'm going through my phone looking for it. I live right there. I was coming from my mama's house.
Growing up in the inner city, it's common to experience conflict in your own neighborhood. That often comes from the older generation not agreeing with the younger generation. And if your neighborhood a decent size, that could lead some tension within your own neighborhood. But more or less, you often develop relationships with people you hang out with every day, often tighter than those with people you don't know well. In this story, you see a little bit of both dynamics, but this narrative also demonstrates how one can become a product of their environment if they don't make a change. And sometimes those influences come from inside your home. Today we talk about a man from Atlanta, Georgia, who's from the same area as a household name rapper, Lil Baby, and also once affiliated with him, who recently received a 40-year prison sentence for his alleged involvement in street criminal gang activity and 2 murders. But the same man we talking about, who received 40 years in prison, his mom received a 20-year sentence in prison and was only home for 2.5 years before her son went in for 40. Repeated cycles and generational curses. And sometimes breaking them is not as easy as one might think.
But look, though, seeing how all this was going and knowing about the Ricos in Atlanta, I wonder how Baby's moving going off of this, because a lot of y'all might know about the Icebox clip where one of Baby's homies was picking up his money off the ground, trying to hand it to him. He wasn't paying attention and he put it in his pocket. That was 4PF Nate.
This man we talking about was the reason why Finlucci had got a RICO with the alleged gang he was running with. And the man we talking about was allegedly the man returning fire in his own neighborhood, according to authorities. But he wasn't charged. He was charged with 2 other shootings that led to murders, and another shooting that injured 3 in a nightclub protecting Lil Baby. Nathan Benford, aka 4PF Nate, who happens to be from the same neighborhood as the Atlanta rap star Lil Baby. They from a neighborhood called Lil Cali, known as the West End in Atlanta, Georgia. Located.
Wait. Okay, so now a lot of all these stories that we've been already hearing are starting to intertwine, and the layout is getting mapped out. So why Finlucci? Everybody knows about the famous shooting he slid through 4PF territory right there on Dimmick, you know what I'm saying, behind the West End, and was shooting out of a Maybach truck. And there was only one in Atlanta at the time, and it was his. it turns out that Nate was the one who shot back and killed his partner. Okay, cool.
In the Oakland City neighborhood. And the reason people are putting two and two with Wyeth and Lucci is because he was indicted primarily because of the murder of his friend, being killed after they did a drive-by in Atlanta, Georgia, after having returned fire on him. He was shot in the head. Moments later, he was dumped out of a vehicle, which now we know was Wyeth and Lucci white Maybach, after they showed it in evidence during his trial before accepting the plea.
Atlanta 911 for 2679 was the address of your emergency.
We need an ambulance. Somebody is laying out. Somebody, I don't know if he barely.
Let me connect you. Stay on the line.
Somebody just threw him out of the car.
Let me connect you to the ambulance.
But I'm not gonna cap though, right? At first, when I first heard this audio, I was 50-50. Like, the operator doesn't seem to care, but at the same time, you have to stay calm when you're the 911 operator. You can't freak out, and you probably get these calls all the time. It's normal to you now. The other lady should have been able to articulate herself better.
EMS, what's the address of the emergency?
Baby, can y'all please get an ambulance here? This man is dying.
Here where? You ain't telling us nothing.
He's shot in the head.
Look at this
He
shit.
just took his last breath, man.
What street are you on, ma'am? Can you give him your location, please, for the ambulance to give the guy some help?
They start shooting back.
What is this address?
Boom, look. If you see right here at the smaller screen, it's a dude in a white hoodie right here. I guess that got to be Nate because he's shooting back for sure.
Man, this man just took his last breath, man.
Man, we have help on the way already. Tell me exactly what happened.
We don't know. Me and my sister, we were just walking down the street, and somebody just rolled down the street with a man hanging out the car. They just pushed him out the truck and left him for dead.
No, that's crazy,
Man,
though. That is wild to do to your partner. But see, here's the thing. Like I said in one of my past videos, all gunshot wounds must be reported to the police just in case something happens and you pass away, or it was a report that somebody shot an intruder coming into their house. All of this stuff got to get reported. And if they would have took him to the hospital, they would have been arrested for the shooting anyways, plus his body. Which they ultimately did. They just didn't take him to the hospital.
He just died. He just took his last breath.
We have the ambulance already on the way, okay?
Okay.
It don't matter now. He
Tell me
gone.
what kind of vehicle.
Listen, you go ahead and get fire and PD and
Can you tell me what kind of vehicle he was stolen from, please?
White.
A white car, truck, or SUV?
SUV.
What direction did the SUV
Yes,
go?
his whole body was just hanging out the car.
Listen, just stay on the phone. Can you tell me if you saw any of the people that were driving the car, whether they adults or kids?
They were driving real fast. We seen.
All right.
On People's Street, a man found
But
shot.
just think about how stupid you gotta be, bro. Every time I see that clip, I just think more and more of how dumb the situation was. You got a brand new car. You the only nigga in the city with this car. You go slide through your Opps hood, shoon. One of your niggas get hit and you throw
The
his body out
street
the
later
car.
died at the hospital.
Now, as mentioned, the man who was allegedly responsible for the return fire was never charged. Instead, he received a 40-year sentence on unrelated charges, including 2 murders. This is why the public never found out who was responsible for a moment that was cemented in hip-hop culture. Today we talk about who this man is, his upbringing in Georgia, his alleged gang involvement, his childhood friends that turned into his crew, his run-ins with the law, his recent indictment in full detail.
He got 22 count. What this shit? This is like a RICO.
Right down to the informant. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Born in July of 1991, now 33 years old, Nathan Benford, also known as 4PF Nate. The Atlanta native grew up playing football at multiple schools. Received a scholarship to play at Troy University in Alabama. That was in the year of 2010. But 4PF Nate's upbringing wasn't all peaches and cream. He was one of 7 siblings. He had to navigate life without financial support and much love from a distance. His mother served 17 years of her 20-year sentence for moving narcotics. She was released in 2020. Her name was Karen Davis. The married mother of 7 was sent.
They be giving dope dealers so much time. It's insane. And then you got some people who doing 10 years on murders and finding loopholes and this, that, and the third, getting it downgraded to manslaughter and all type of stuff. These people getting life sentences for dope and doing the majority of the time, bro.
On July 22nd, 2003. 4th PF Nate was only 12 years old at the time. Here are some pictures with him, his mom, and his siblings. 4th PF Nate mom was charged with conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute 50 grams or more of C. Use of a telephone to facilitate commission of conspiracy to distribute C and Mary Jane. And it was hard on her because her priors. She had possession of M, simple assault, and selling and delivering C. But 4th PF Nate mom's story was similar to his. She was exposed to the drug dealing business at her early teens by her uncle, according to her. And by the time she was in her early 20s, she was further in the business with her husband. She said she would sometimes transport the drugs to complete their deals, but she wasn't happy about their way of living. By the time she was 25 years old, her husband was sent to prison for 3 years, and according to her, left her at home with 5 boys to support. She said she eventually started back with family to make money to support her kids and make ends meet. She said at the end of the day, her uncle was the first person to call her to take a plea, asking me to admit to things I knew were lies, end quote. She said she wasn't informed enough to know to take a plea, and it was withdrawn. She went to a speedy trial and was portrayed as a leader, which is far from accurate, according to her. She said she received enhancements for priors and eventually sentenced to 20 years in prison.
So
as mentioned, she only did 17 and was released in 2020. But
look though. Damn.
He was released.
Damn. So I want to know what the plea was, because they always, if they give you a plea and then you take it to trial, they gonna slam you every time. You feel me? Even if your plea, you think your plea is crazy, 9 times out of 10, bro, with the charges that's levied against you, if you found guilty, they gonna max you out anyways. You feel me? So sometimes they be like, man, do 25 years. And you be like, no, they give you 45. And you like, damn, I should have took the 25. You should have. But they are not obligated to stand on that plea after
she had a son, according to his recent indictment, was known in the streets for doing the same thing as her, moving work. Also known as 4th PF Nate, the guy who's affiliated with one of the biggest rappers coming out of Atlanta, Lil Baby. But 2 years before Nathan Benford, aka 4th PF Nate mom, would come home, he was 28 years old, and he would get arrested in March of 2018 by Athens Clark County Police on charges of aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, and the commission of a crime in connection with the shooting that occurred October 1st, 2017 in Club Vina on Commerce Road, in which 3 people were injured, 1 seriously. A man was shot once in the chest. Another man's shoulder was grazed by a bullet during the shoot. According to the police, they said a 3rd man was injured when he fell and was stumped. But at that time, police ain't say whether 4th PF Nate, who was a resident of Decatur, had fired a gun in the incident. He was subsequently released on a $7,350 security bond. He was only charged with reckless conduct for endangering others. So for lack of better terms, he managed to escape. But this wasn't 4th PF Nate first run-in with the law in 2018. Now the reason 4th PF Nate didn't pursue his football career, because he couldn't. His scholarship was stripped when he was arrested on December 16th, 2009. Apparently he robbed the church's chicken with the defendant who would later play key to his newest indictment, Cavario.
So there's a snitch. So he got told on, basically, is what I'm hearing. Now with this churches, I don't know if this is the churches right there by the West End Mall, which would literally be less than 2 minutes away from 4 PF's hood, People Street, Deming Street, all that other shit, right? But my thing is, what was the situation going on to where you threw away everything to rob a churches? You know, like, I know you saying he got brothers and sisters, 7 kids, and the parents is both locked up and in jail. So it's like, You can only imagine what was going on to where he felt like he had to go rob churches. And churches, you ain't gonna get no whole lot of money. What you gonna get, $200-$300?
Major and another individual. 4PF Nate pointed a gun at the restaurant customers, telling them to don't move, while his co-conspirators emptied the cash register and safe. Carvio acted as the getaway driver. All three was arrested after a traffic stop. 4PF Nate later pleaded guilty to robbery and received the first offender sentence with 5 years of imprisonment. He was arrested shortly after he was released on July 24, 2014. 4PF Nate was pulled over in Gordon County in his rental vehicle with a female passenger. After getting a traffic stop, it revealed 60 grams of Mary Jane in the center console. He accepted full responsibility. 4PF Nate had pled guilty and received a conditional discharge sentence. But then he got arrested 2 years later on December 30th, 2000.
I don't even know what that is. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what a conditional. Oh, conditional. I mean, using context clues, conditional discharge. So it's like they basically let him off, probably on like extended conditions to his probation because he just got out of jail, and the judge probably was trying to give him another chance.
In 2016, officers attempt another traffic stop on a vehicle driven by Hampton, displaying stolen temporary tags. After refusing to stop and later losing control of the vehicle, defendant Hampton fled on foot along with 2 other passengers. Further investigation confirmed the vehicle had been stolen from a car dealership. The state did not proffer or tender the final deposition of the arrest as part of the record. And the defendant Hampton is identified as Jamel Keith Hampton, who's also another co-defendant in 4PF's Nate new indictment. Now it's also to be noted, as a juvenile, he was convicted of robbing someone as well. 3 people was in a car. After smoking, they just robbed him and pointed a firearm and made him drive to an undisclosed location. But 4PF Nate's last arrest would be his final arrest. 2023, he was arrested with 3 other co-defendants. All 3 had prior history with getting arrested with 4PF Nate since 2008 that we just mentioned. But this time
So
his
you
mom...
would think they always get together and catch a case together. You would think they would stay away from each other, be like, man, hell no, man. Every time I do something with you, boy, we catch a case.
Home for a little more than 2 years. But for the very first time, 4PF Nate will be hit with murder. Not once, but twice. Not to mention gang activity. And one of the murders was allegedly get back for the demise of his best friend. His best friend was identified as a man named Cafario Major, aka 4PF Mackie, a inspiring rapper who was seen with Lil Baby on a number of occasions. And even Lil Baby had posted being at his funeral service.
I reached last street, man. Can't forget, man. You know what I'm saying? On that 1271 shit, man. On that last shit, man. Long live low.
But and then also, you can see how they got their own shit going on, but somehow, some way, the state will wrap all these niggas up in a RICO. Just because you know them.
You like easy? Uh-oh.
Make sure you don't beat that
On November 1st, 2021, Cafario, aka 4PF Mackie, had lost his life in his neighborhood to a man named Daryl Harrell. Apparently it was self-defense, so Daryl was never charged, but instead it was retaliation against him from 4PF.
But
it has
look,
been a deadly...
What was the situation? This is what I'm saying. I need more than that. I need more than it was self-defense. Nigga, self-defense and Georgia, bro, is fluky. Like, you could just say, oh, he had a gun on him. I thought he was gonna shoot me, so I shot him first. Self-defense, and you can get off. You feel me? With a decent jury, an impartial jury, they're gonna be like, man, I can see that happening. I can see if a guy had a gun, you know what I'm saying, and he attempted to pull it out, but I just managed to get off on him first. I can see that happening. You know what I'm saying? Self-defense, we let you off. Especially with a good lawyer. I can see that. What was it in his own neighborhood that made you pull a gun on him and kill him in his own neighborhood that is self-defense? That you pull up on him, try to do something, he robbed you, and you shot him? Like, what was it?
Night across Atlanta as police are investigating 3 separate shootings. The latest happening on Fulton Street. This is between downtown and the West End. Someone shot and killed a person around 8 o'clock tonight. An hour before that, police officers dispatched to Newtown Circle for a call of a shooting there. This is also being investigated as a homicide. And about an hour before that, around 7 o'clock on White Oak Avenue Southeast, this appears to have been a shooting, a fight that started between two men. Police say the suspect pulled a gun out and shot the victim. Right now, police don't have a suspect.
But shortly after Cavario had lost his life and retaliation was committed, May 16, 2023, the state of Georgia had an indictment for 4 alleged members of 4PF. Nathan Benford, a.k.a. 4PF Nate, Keontae Davis, Keith Jamel Hampton, Quincy Rashid Pinky. Now, all 4 was arrested during different times, and one of them gave authorities information out the gate. The only person who had a bond, and the person who cooperated, was Keontae Davis. This was his first time getting in trouble with the law. September 27th.
Ain't gonna lie though. The only person to get a bond, everybody else, this is a RICO basically. Very small RICO. You got 4 people indicted on one thing, street gang terrorism, all this other shit, right? And some bodies. Young Thug and them didn't get out. It's niggas on Young Thug's case who only got hit with Street Gang Terrorism Act and didn't get no bond. How is it bodies on here and you're getting a bond?
2022, where a witness saw Javarius Wilson, the victim who was shot and killed as he rode in the SUV downtown Atlanta, and another passenger in the SUV was shot but survived. The witness saw the suspect vehicle open fire on Wilson's vehicle. He called 911 immediately upon seeing the crime and spoke to lead detective investigating the murder. The witness described the shooter in the case and his statement to law enforcement helped solve the case, as well as the cooperation of Keontae Davis. This incident was caught on camera, and according to Keontae, 4PF Nate was also in that vehicle that belonged to the suspects. It was a drug deal gone bad.
Tonight, this man that you see on your screen is now in custody in connection to a murder from last fall. Keontae Davis is accused of shooting 2 people on September 27th. The 2 victims were dropped off at Grady Hospital. One survived, the other did not. Davis is now charged with aggravated assault and murder.
And even though Keontae Davis was talking to prosecutors, he was apprehended by mistake, or at least for his warrant for his indictment. He was arrested on a traffic violation, driving his mother's vehicle.
Piedmont Road, Northwest. I used to live there. Yeah, this right here by the
Someone checking on you on Marietta Boulevard.
Good morning.
Icebox.
My name is Officer Lane, City of Atlanta Police Department. The reason I pulled you over is because right there at the light at Piedmont and Peachtree, is stop means stop. That means all woods got to stop. You didn't stop. You just kept rolling on through and made the right turn.
I was on the phone running my mouth.
All right. So you got a driving license?
No, sir.
I'm going to get your first and last name.
Keontae William Davis.
You got a picture of it?
I'm going through my phone looking for it. I live right there. I was coming from my mama's house. Something happened over there. Here you go. Yeah, I was on the phone running my mouth. I'm sorry.
Zoom into the picture so I can see the numbers?
Yes, sir.
Got to zoom.
05.
I'm good.
89. 70949.
But
I just left from the gas station right there. I was on the airport running my mouth.
All right.
I live right there. All right. Okay.
You don't even know you on the run for a body.
White Prius, 3141, T-Mark 1 time.
All right. So maybe cut the car off for me. All right. So you know you got a warrant, right?
No, sir.
All right. You got a warrant out of the City of Atlanta, okay, for aggravated assault. So I got to put you in a car. I'm gonna detain you, okay? Detain means just only holding you until time being, okay? You ain't in custody yet, all right? Until they.
Nigga walk up on you with a serious felony like aggravated assault. He didn't want to tell him the shit about the body, but aggravated assault, this, that, and the third. And then you already got priors.
Confirm the warrant, all right? Step out of the car.
My phone.
Put the phone on the seat. You go by any other names? You didn't know you had a warrant out?
No, sir. And honorable alert at 600 Peachtree
They
Valley
just talked about all these priors that they
You
had.
got any weapons or anything on you?
600 Peachtree Valley Avenue.
Never been arrested before. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce, no insurance, failure to obey traffic control device, no license on person. Damn. So 2 warrants, and it was. I mean, all this is some little.
Now, while all this going down and people getting arrested for this indictment, a lawyer for one of the defendants named Fegan Law was representing Quincy Rashad Pinky. Now, she also was an attorney for a co-defendant in the YSL trial as well.
Fegan, she is a very fine attorney. Seen her work. Miss Fegan.
For those who don't remember, she got arrested during that trial after the informant Keeante, who was in full PF Nate indictment, had told prosecutors that that attorney, who was also representing Pinky in the full PF Nate indictment, had contacted Keeante Davis to get rid of his cell phone because he had a warrant for his arrest for that murder.
Elements. Prosecutors are trying to get an attorney kicked off a murder case. They say she warned a murder suspect, who she was not representing, to hide evidence. Today, her attorney fought back, saying that conversation was still privileged. Channel 2's Tom Jones, live now in downtown Atlanta. Tom, this issue has now delayed the trial.
But you gotta think about it. Why would I let a person, because you gotta think about it, even though I'm not your attorney, technically we're fighting this case together. I'm not finna let you have something in your phone where you could possibly be talking about this body who's gonna get my client sentenced to 60 years just on your phone. I'm not finna go for that. Get rid of your phone. You on the run for a body. Just in case something happens and you get caught somewhere, get rid of your phone. Just get a new phone.
The murder trial for 4 defendants was on the calendar here for Monday, but now that trial is on hold until the courts can determine if attorney Nicole.
Because the thing about it is, how would they even know that you told him to get rid of his phone? You a lawyer, so you definitely not talking to him on no jail phone. And then on top of that, this is not even your client. This is somebody else that's on the case. This nigga told on the lawyer.
Fegan will be disqualified. Her attorney says she shouldn't be disqualified, and he wants the charges dismissed.
She can't practice law.
Attorney Drew Findling says his client, fellow attorney Nicole Fegan, is suffering professionally after prosecutors charged her with participating in criminal street gang activity and criminal solicitation to commit tampering with evidence. Police say she told murder suspect Keeante Davis to get rid of evidence on his phone. Prosecutors say Fegan wasn't representing Davis and had no attorney-client privilege. Findling disputes that.
She actually did have an attorney-client privilege relationship.
He didn't say how. Fegan is representing Davis's co-defendant, Quincy Pinky. Pinky, Davis, and 2 others are charged in the murder of Jaquavius Wilson last year. Prosecutors want her off the case.
It's the state's position that Ms. Fegan would be disqualified.
Findling says he plans to file a motion to have the charges dismissed. The judge says if that doesn't happen,
she can't sit next to her client on Monday morning.
Findling repeatedly called out the DA's office for prosecuting an attorney who's representing someone they are trying to convict. He called it a constitutional breach. Meanwhile, the murder victim's father sat and watched it all unfold in court. Christopher Welch said he's not discouraged after the judge said the trial will be delayed until all of this can be worked out.
Yo, but I'm not gonna lie. People don't know how powerful this is. They say that, for instance, in the YSL trial, one of the main murders on that case was Donovan Nutt Thomas, as everybody knows. They say his parents were in that courtroom every day. Every day, somebody from Nutt's family was sitting in that courtroom. If his parents couldn't make it, the cousin was there. If the cousin couldn't make it, auntie, nephew, somebody was sitting in that courtroom.
But we still gonna push for justice.
And Fegan is also representing a defendant in the YSL case. The prosecutor said he couldn't say much in court about the case, Fegan's case, because the anti-corruption unit is handling it. The judge didn't say when the murder trial will start. We're live in downtown Atlanta. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
And shortly after that indictment was corrected on 8/15/2024. And fam, stay with me. This time you know there's only 3 defendants. Keeante Davis wasn't on this indictment after his cooperation. And also, more detail was later given to authorities. Keeante mentioned he only gave the sweatshirt to full PF Nate before he went to the driving vehicle who did the shooting. And not to mention, apparently this drive-by shooting involved Daryl, the guy who shot Cavario in Lil Cali from self-defense a month and a half later. And now the police know that the 3 people that's in this indictment got get back for Cavario. According to the transcript, an unknown gunman inside a Dodge Durango had opened fire on a Chevrolet Tahoe occupied by 3 men as the Tahoe sat stationary at a red light in downtown Atlanta. The occupants of the Durango had fled the scene. Darrell Hurd and Javarius Wilson was shot. Wilson died as a result of a gunshot wound to his neck.
So that's who they say did both. Okay.
And nearby surveillance footage revealed.
Even though I'm sitting right here, like I said, I don't fake none of my reactions. This is like a real reaction to this video. I was just so confused as to how's all this stuff lining up. So the main body that's on this little miniature Rico that this guy on the screen told on was Get Back for 4PF Mackey. Okay.
Multiple individuals act in coordination beforehand. It alleged that 4PF Nate kept watch over 3 men from a nearby parked vehicle for about an hour before the shooting. They go on to say that 4PF Nate then drove to another parking lot where he met defendant Hampton driving the Durango. Defendant Pinky, who had been dropped off by defendant Davis in another car, approached the intersection with the co-defendants and other unidentified individuals, several of whom were wearing masks and gloves. 4PF Nate eventually entered the Durango along with several others and was the driver at the time of the shoot. Defendant Pinky followed the Durango in another vehicle to conceal the Durango tag and fled in tandem with the Durango after the shoot. And as mentioned by the state, not me, they believe this homicide occurred in revenge for Darrell Hurd in killing Cavario back in November of 2021. Now I know that was a
and what's crazy is that if they get a conviction on this, they're going to use this conviction to build a bigger case for the whole 4PF. So my vision of how things are going on right now in Atlanta is that the DA, she's not going to be satisfied with what happened in the YSL trial. The big fish, the young thug, basically got off after just serving 2 years in jail. He basically got off. Obviously, they're going to try to make him slip up, put some pressure on him, see if he was to even just come back around in Atlanta without supposedly being there for his conditions of probation. They can lock him up for that. So he got to walk on eggshells. But everybody who's in these street gangs who has a name in Atlanta needs to be walking on eggshells, needs to be paying attention to what they doing, crossing their T's, dotting their I's. If you can, stop doing crime, because these small cases that people are overlooking or people don't even really know about is what's going to build a bigger Rico.
Fam. But can you imagine everything I had to go through just to bring you guys this under 30 minutes? We're talking about a man who, it seemed, didn't have many opportunities from the start. Didn't learn from the ones he loved the most, mistakes. Instead, capitalized on what they know, added what he could learn, and came up with 40 years. Only 2 years after his mom coming home from a 20-year sentence, serving 17 years. It's a very unfortunate situation. This was the man who got get back for the demise of his friend just months later. Now, you see where he at. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And today, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
I'm trying to understand this all. I'm not gonna cap, bro. This all stems back to that robbery that committed in 2009. If they would have never got bumped for the robbery or never committed the robbery, he probably would have went off to college, you know what I'm saying, got a good job, or been in the NFL, you feel me? It's just so crazy to see how one event really can change your life. And even the one event that probably changed his life was his mama going to jail for all that time. But how that spiraled, one thing after another, it just started happening. It just started getting worse and worse and worse. It's crazy to say the least. But, you know what I'm saying? We just got to see, man. Let me know in the comment section below if y'all think 4PF is going to end up getting in Rico. And if this stuff is going to be used against them, man, it's crazy to see, but it's true. It's a real reality and real events that could possibly happen coming up soon. So, with that being said, it's your boy Key checking in, checking out. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Get in the comment box, tell me how you felt about this video. And with that being said, I'm gone.